Tinderbox podcast, where we amplify marginalized voices and we ignite actionable change to build healthier communities. I'm your host, Mishka Russell, and in our mission to fight health inequities, we often talk about access to quality healthcare, whether it be doctors or fresh food or safe housing. And on this episode of the Tinderbox podcast, I want to welcome Reverend Dr. Miriam Barnett as our guest and friend of the Tinderbox podcast. And I want to begin by sharing some of Dr. Barnett's distinguished resume. She is currently the president of Resource and Promotion of Health Alliance Incorporated, and she's a convener of the National Council of Churches. She's also with the USA Health Task Force and the co-chair of the World Council of Churches Health and Access Subcommittee in partnership with the World Health Organization. Dr. Barnett also serves as an instructor for the Turner Theological Seminary Certificate in Theology program, and she has worked with U.S. government agencies including HHS, the CDC, and FEMA. Dr. Barnett is trained in head and heart, and she holds a Doctor of Medicine from Morehouse School of Medicine, a Master's of Public Health, and a Master's of Divinity degrees. Dr. Barnett is a U.S. Army veteran and completed her internal medicine internship and medical residency at Brooke Army Medical Center at Fort Sam in San Antonio, Texas. Welcome to the Tinderbox podcast, Dr. Barnett.
Thank you so very much. It is my pleasure to be with you today.
And today we're going to be talking to Reverend Dr. Miriam Barnett about emergency preparedness and what that entails. Some may not have heard of this topic before. And one of the reasons why I want to bring this to the Tinderbox podcast community is because we did hear in the news about the fires that happened in California and all of the devastation that happened with regards to those fires. And I wanted to bring Dr. Barnett in to talk about this emergency preparedness information that she can give to us with using the California fires as a context and as a backdrop, and what opportunities she can offer us as having greater awareness around preparation and education in our communities and in our faith communities as well. So, Dr. Barnett, why don't you tell us, what does emergency preparedness, what does that mean and what does that entail?
Actually a vast area of work. When people think disaster, they think natural disaster. They think fires or floods or wind, tornado, hurricane. They tend to miss out on what affects us every day.
Yeah, right?
The mass gun shootings, the political unrest, the civic unrest. Those are disasters.
Those are disasters.
Those are disasters. And so when we think about disaster preparedness, are we preparing our mind, body, and spirit for what could come next?
Yeah.
Are we preparing our households, our families, for what could come as a result of a disaster to property?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, are we preparing ourselves for economic disaster, economic downturn? Are we preparing ourselves for, unfortunately, a drive-by shooting? How does that impact family?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we ready for any of that? And so my answer to that question, tell us about emergency preparedness, is what are we preparing for?
Okay. Okay. There's a whole host of things that you just, a whole laundry list of things you just listed there, right?
Right, right. Many of it revolves around, have we prepared our paperwork? Do you know where your deed to your house is? Do you know where your lease is? Do you have a copy of it electronically uploaded somewhere? Or do you
Yeah.
have it in a fire safe, flood safe container? Do you know where your social security card is, your birth certificate? Are all of those copies official copies? Because it takes
Official.
longer.
Yeah.
if you have to go get an official copy if something happened,
Mm-hmm.
are all of those official copies maintained in a case in a fire safe, fireproof or and waterproof safe? Because even if you're
Yeah.
talking about fire, don't forget the
Hmm.
firefighters are coming with the water.
Yes. Yes, they are. They kind of work together.
They're coming with that water now. That water is
Coming with the
coming.
water.
They're coming with that water. Um, so, is your healthcare proxy done? Is your living will
Yeah.
done?
Yeah.
Do have you evaluated whether you need a trust or you don't need a trust? That's something we don't talk about.
We don't. We don't talk
Is
about any of
your
those
power
things.
of attorney for financial matters, is that done? I went and got mine done, and when I came out of there, the stat looked like that.
It's pretty thick once you get all that done.
Once
Yeah.
you go do it,
Yeah.
it takes a while. You can do
It
it
does.
yourself, or you can get an
Yes.
attorney if you're in that economic bracket where you need to do that, or somebody needs to
Yeah.
help walk you through. But all of it is free,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
can be free.
Can be free.
If you engage an attorney or some other specialist, yes, you're going to pay for it. But
You are.
you need a stack. If you're walking away and you have two pieces of paper, go back.
Yeah. That's right. That's not going to cover anything.
Yes. Okay, that saved you for 2 days. All right, now
Right.
what?
Right. Right.
Right?
Right.
So,
Right.
just even looking at the paperwork, is your paperwork in order to take care of yourself and your family?
Yeah.
Do they know where your stuff is?
The answer right now is the majority of people, no, they don't.
Can they get in your phone?
Right?
Does somebody have the password to get in your telephone?
Yeah. Yeah.
I learned recently that if you're using your face to
Mm-hmm.
open up your phone, if it's not done for, I don't remember how many days, that gets wiped out.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Huh.
I just learned that recently. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, no.
Wow.
So, and you can't use a picture as that face.
No,
So now nobody has access to your phone.
no one has access.
And a lot of us who don't have laptops, who don't, have
Mm-hmm.
everything is in your phone. Well, what
Mm-hmm.
happens when they
Yes.
can't get in the phone?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that the paperwork piece, right? Just for households. Again, that is, I'm going to use the word taboo subject.
Right.
Um, in our community, especially when you're talking about paperwork that has to do with um, postmortem, death, dying, whatever it is, right? Or again, doing wills or deciding if a will's not what you want to do, but a trust, and not really understanding what trusts do or how we can really utilize trusts. Um, and so, um, to teach our community with regards to, I'm going to say that the big five documents that we probably should have,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to get past that taboo nature of it, what do you think is at the heart of that hesitancy? That's the word that I'm going to use, of people really being afraid of or hesitant to do some of this work. Do you think it's the financial aspect of it or something else?
I don't think, unless you're talking about the financial aspect of somebody else knowing what I have.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I
There's
don't think it's the
yeah.
financial aspect of getting it done because you don't have to pay for it.
Right. You don't have to pay for
You
it.
don't have to
Yeah.
pay for it. And so that's not it. It's, do we trust
Mm.
someone
Mm-hmm.
or some persons to
Mm-hmm.
know what we have, what we don't have, which could be as equally stressful,
Sure.
where our bank accounts are, how to access our bank accounts.
Yeah.
But I think the other piece of it is fear The tinderbox is about health, so let's talk about it.
Sure.
My health is not as good. A person can say, my health is not as good as I would like it to be, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore I don't want to claim. I've heard this in practice. I am not going to claim something
Mm-hmm.
and then make it happen.
Yeah. Right.
So, no, I don't have X disease. And therefore I don't need to do any of this.
Yeah. Denial.
Denial. Denial is not a river in Africa. It's,
It is not.
but it will drown you.
It will drown you. Yes,
It will
it
drown
will.
you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and so I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm so happy that my parents, back when I was in my 20s, that they had this conversation,
Hmm.
that they prepared paperwork, and I was able as a 20-year-old to see this process. Right now, parents weren't rich or anything like that, but and I never did ask them where they where they got the thought process to even think about this, because I know it didn't come from their parents. Um, and what who introduced them to, again, talking about a trust, talking about healthcare power of attorney, talking about um, uh, life sustaining treatment and what they did or did not want to have happen if they could not speak for themselves, and setting up those different types of information and packet. And again, it was a big, thick 3-ring binder once you got finished with everything. And yes, sitting down literally, um, the gift list, right? What things do you want? And I remember going through that process, and then fast forward until when they passed, really appreciating that they had taken the time
That's right.
to literally do that, right?
Right.
That I knew the attorneys, that I was there at the beginning of the conversation, and how it made it so much easier to do some of the different things. So how can how can church congregations, how can church leadership, how can community leaders, how can we open this up to invite people to understand the different aspects of what we're talking about, emergency preparedness for our own households, and then extrapolate that out to emergency preparedness for the places where we convene on a regular basis.
I think one of the things that I am seeing more frequently, I'm actually pleased to be seeing this more frequently, is congregations are having these workshops as their Bible study. Or they're having it after
Yes.
church on Sunday
Yeah.
or Saturday, depending on whether they're Saturday worshipers or Sunday worshipers. They're
Hmm.
having it at some place where they have congregational involvement and
Hmm.
community involvement and support. And they're bringing in the experts to say, here are the things that you potentially will need.
Hmm.
Here's how you go get it.
Yeah.
But please go do it.
Please go do it. Yeah.
Please go do it. I think that one of the pieces, I had a similar experience when I came home from medical school, the summer of my first year. And after I had seen just what I had seen, I came home with 4 copies of a blank living will and healthcare proxies. And I said, everybody sit down at the dining room table.
Hmm. Hmm.
My parents, my
Fill
sister,
it
and
out.
I sat down, fill it out. You fill out the top, and then we will move it around the table and everybody sign. And we all signed it. Called the
Hmm.
next door neighbor, said, we're ready for you. Before we started signing, so that they would be legitimate. Called the next
Hmm.
door neighbor over, said, we need you to verify that these signatures are real. So they signed.
Hmm.
3 days later, I got a call from them. Can you come over here? We We found the paper, a blank paper, and we went to the library and got our blank paper. So can you come over here and sign ours, please, and make sure we've done this correctly? So I walk through.
Oh, yeah.
I walk through it with them. So if we've got a little bit of knowledge, we can help
Hmm.
everybody else in our community do the paperwork, do the
Yeah.
things, make sure we're getting CPR certified. This
Yes.
hands only CPR. Now, so
Hmm.
what happens if someone passes out in the front yard, in the next door neighbor? Do you know what to do? Other than
Do you know
call
what to do?
911, what are we doing while we're waiting for 911 to get there? Standing and praying? God
Yeah.
doesn't ask us to just stand and pray. Uh, wait is, people get irritated when I say this, but wait is a verb.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It means you have to be doing something. What
You
are
have to
you
be doing
doing while
something
you're waiting?
while you're waiting.
Praying is good, but prayer without action,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
okay,
Okay. Right.
okay.
Wow. Well, and the the conversations that, well, again, in the work that I do in the hospital context, um the sadness that I have is, again, how we've kind of laughed about it a little bit, but it is so very simple to have these conversations
Hmm.
and to see it on the other side when these conversations have not been had.
Right,
And then it's coupled with stress and trauma and grief, because you don't know what to do. You have not asked the questions. You have not had conversations. You don't know how to get into someone's phone or where the paperwork is for fill in the blank, whatever it is, and feeling so lost and depleted. And then you get angry
right,
um, at whoever is in the room. Um, and it could all have been addressed or possibly mitigated if we just pause for a minute to have a conversation. And it can't all be had in the same point in time, right? It should be spread out through over a span of time. And so what I hear you saying is, again, I love the example that you gave of, you brought your neighbors over to ask them to witness the paperwork, and they were curious
hmm
about the paperwork and decided that that was something that they wanted to do. And a real simple gesture to get somebody interested in doing this paperwork that can save so much down the line. I call it an act of love.
that's right.
Um, yeah, an act of love that we all need to consider. So let's talk about. So we've talked about, again, the household of getting some documents together, of having those conversations about access to vital information if there's an emergency, if this person can't speak for themselves. Um, would you know where this was, how to get to it, how to access it, all those different types of things. But you brought up about emergency preparedness for violence that happens
Mhm.
in our community. So let's talk a little bit about that and what that preparedness looks like.
Preparedness for community violence, for me, revolves around mitigation.
Okay.
What are we doing to prevent it? What are we
Mm,
doing to make sure that um, persons who are angry are getting mental health care? What are we doing to make sure that the guns are actually not on the street? Are we doing
yeah.
gun buyback programs without any consequence?
Yeah.
Can we do after school programs
Mm-hmm.
so that, in the faith based community, you're not doing anything with that building after on other than
You or not.
Sunday and Wednesday? You're not.
You're not.
Very.
Yeah.
Let me make that not exclusive, but many of our our houses of worship are empty during the week,
Yes.
other than maybe one
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. We're being honest. Yes.
We're being honest. Open the doors, after school tutoring, after school activities of some sort.
Hmm.
Do it intergenerationally so our elders are teaching the young people how to
Yeah.
grow food and be sustainable for
Hmm.
themselves. Keep our young people occupied. And I am harping on the young people because many of these shootings are under the age are being done by under the age of 25, let's say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You and I see it in the hospital setting all the time.
We do. Yes.
So how are we keeping our young people occupied? Keep them off the street, keep their minds stimulated.
Hmm.
Let's not I had when I was in Atlanta, had young people tell me, well, I don't have nothing to live for, so one, I'm not going to school. Two, that's back in the era of HIV or raging, which it is again.
Yeah.
I'll die from a bullet before I die from HIV, so it really doesn't matter what my behavior is, because I'm. What are we doing to mitigate, to get rid of, to reassure young
Hmm.
people that they have something to live for?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Where does hope reside in any of that?
where does hope reside? Where does hope reside? And when people have hope, when they have a sense of economic stability and
Hmm.
political and civic stability, they do better.
Hmm.
They do
Yeah.
better. And so when you talk about a disaster from that standpoint, that's how can we make communities have hope and resilience from the hope?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And how can we affirm people differently to help that seed of hope grow,
Right,
right? That affirmation that you are valued, you matter, your voice matters, your personhood matters, um, your what you give to society matters.
right,
Um, and that all comes for me, it comes in the aspect of affirming people,
right.
not in the platitude way, but again, really speaking to the heart of who they are, their uniqueness, um, and what they add to the conversation just by being who they are.
Do you see
um,
me?
yeah.
Do you see
Right.
me?
Yeah. Do you really see me? And then on the larger context with emergency preparedness, well, even in the community context. So I know that there's the ability to do drills.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that, of what that entails, what the format of doing drills and the different types, some of the different types of ways that you can do drills in order to train people um, with regards to emergency preparedness.
I call it the pre-drill and the drill.
Okay, right. Yes.
Because the pre-drill means making sure that the leadership of whether it be the congregation or the leadership of the community are
Hmm.
engaged in learning what needs to happen, how it needs to happen, and those people all are on board, as well
Yeah.
as the public entities, the fire department, the police department, EMTs, so that when somebody doesn't realize that it's a drill and picks up the phone and calls 911,
Which has happened.
it just happened.
Just happened.
They know how to 911 knows how to respond,
Yes.
and we're not wasting a precious resource. But
Yeah.
from the pre-drill for me is going through the step-by-step process of what will happen, what could
Hmm.
happen, where are we going to gather people. If your block is the 100 block, are you going to the 200 block, Or do you
Hmm.
need to go further based on what maybe the fire department tells you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you doing drills for sheltering in place where you can't go outside? We see that
Right.
more and more now.
We do. Yeah.
Um, what are you going to do if there is an active shooter situation? How are we going to respond? Who's throwing the
Hmm.
hymnals? Um, who, as you duck under the pew?
Right.
Does everybody know where the exits are?
Yeah.
You'll be so.
Not
First
everyone
thing I
knows.
do when I go in a building and I'm not familiar with the building is I have,
Hmm.
but within the first 3 minutes, I know where every exit is, and I know whether the exit doors are open or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you actually get out of them?
And you get out. My father was a
Yeah.
retired New York City firefighter. That was the first thing I remember him teaching us about disaster preparedness.
Wow.
When you start going to the parties, and back in the day, the base parties were in the basement.
Yes.
How you gonna get out of the basement?
Are you gonna get out of the basement?
And he would drill us at home.
Yeah.
How you gonna get out? Now what? You go to the club. Is that
Hmm.
door locked? Because 9 times out of 10, it is
Hmm.
illegally locked. How are you going to get
Hmm.
out? When everybody else is
Hmm.
trying to get out the front door, where are you going? You going out a window?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of those kinds, and how are you going to get out the window? Do you need a chair to step up to get out? Is
Yeah.
the chair nearby? Um, all of those, he actually taught us how to climb down a rope, but yeah, I had a firefighter in my house.
You did. That might be pushing the boundaries for
just
some
pushing,
folks.
just pushing the envelope just a little bit. But do so the major things are where we're going, how we're going to
Hmm.
get there, who's in charge of calling 911,
Yeah.
who's the designee to do all kinds of pieces along the way.
Yeah.
Are we planning on? Oh, and I mentioned shelter in place. Shelter in
Hmm.
place. Now what? Do you need to seal the windows? Is it a gas leak of something that needs you to seal windows? So the pre-drill is the here are all the things we need to consider.
Okay.
Here are the different types of drills we need to do for different kinds of situations, and who is in charge of what aspect.
Hmm.
Also, a part of the pre drill is do you have masking tape or duct tape if
You
it's a
do need
shelter in
that.
place? If it's a shelter in place and you're trying to seal the windows, and everybody looks up and, oh, I use that masking tape for to put up the flyers the other day. So there's no mask.
There's none.
There is none. Is there a first aid kit of size in? Is there water or water access to water if you're sheltering in place? How many people are you accounting for?
Yeah.
There's a checklist
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
that can be utilized to go through and make sure all of those things are in place in the community, in the houses of worship. If it's you got two churches that are two doors apart, are you doing it together?
Hmm. Right.
Right? Or do you need to make sure you have some things? If you're sheltering in place, you're going to need some things that are going to have to be maintained by both. But then there are instances where that's not the case.
Yeah.
Do people carry, are you instructing people to make sure they have at least 2 or 3 days of medicine with them at all times?
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
At all times. You never know when the shelter in place is going to come.
Yeah.
So all of those pre-drill instructional things need to happen.
Hmm.
And then the
Hmm.
drills. And I would involve the fire department, the police department, the EMTs. And so it needs to be scheduled.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it with the fire department, the police department, and the EMTs, then you don't have to schedule it, and it can be a surprise,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah. Because
actually
then that's when you figure out where all the holes are.
that's when you figure out where the holes are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Uh,
and then to be able to debrief.
mm-hmm.
The leadership debrief, But also, all those who were there, bring them back inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
One, because you need to figure out the ones that are scared to death. Because
Yes, because some are going to be
they're not coming back next week.
like,
You
yeah,
can
that was way too
a
much.
part of the pre-drill is also forewarning. I'm not telling you when we're going to do this, but I'm telling you we're
Yeah.
going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you and I are familiar with having this in our work context that that we drill all the time, whether it be tabletop drill or scenarios that come into play, and we talk about what our resources are, who all we can get to come in a certain period of time, and again having those contact numbers. Um, and in the environment, unfortunately, that we are in, where again we have a prevalence of mass shootings. Our climate is unpredictable,
Yeah.
with a whole host of different things that don't necessarily happen in certain regions that have happened, whether it be, dip in temperature, or pipes bursting, or mudslides, or again fire, or we've got volcanoes going off, and we've got ash. I mean, just a whole host of different things. The earth opening up, and travel being impassable because roads are out of commission, or a dam has broken. And so I know there's a lot of information out on the internet. Are there some resources that you've utilized, or where people can start to look for where those checklists are for either their homes, or again for their places of worship or gathering in community?
So there are many of them. Uh,
Okay.
Red Cross, American Red Cross is obviously one,
Mm-hmm.
as well as FEMA
Mm-hmm.
has a wealth of information on it. It was down when FEMA wasn't getting any resource funding, but it's back up.
Yes. Okay.
As it's back up, and they've
It's now
added.
active again.
It's now active again, and they've actually added instructional courses that you can do online.
Huh.
So if you wanted to do the preparation course
Mm-hmm.
for the church leader, it's online. It takes about 4 hours. It's free.
Okay. Here we go with the free thing again.
I-
That's not a barrier anymore.
It's not a barrier. You can get what you need to get and not pay a dime for it.
Nice.
The hands only CPR that the Red Cross has is free. Now, you will probably pay for the full CPR course,
Mm-hmm.
unless there's some circumstances where you can be a certified volunteer and then
Mm-hmm.
not pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But religious denominations and organizations have resources on their website. UMCOR, the United Methodist resource disaster
Mm-hmm.
response team, has. The Islamic Society has a disaster training situation on their website. So there are,
Mm-hmm.
type in disaster preparedness checklist,
Okay.
and more will come up than you know what to do with, and then you hit print or you hit save, and so it's on your computer and you have your checklist and you just keep moving. The AME Church has one we developed 30 years ago now, and it
Mm-hmm.
was updated constantly. It's on the website. Just go pull it down.
Yeah.
But you have to want to be your own advocate. You want to
Mm-hmm.
have to be the advocate for your community. You have to want, you have to want, you have to want, you have to want.
Yeah.
Then you have to take all of that information that you've gained and take it to your civic organizations as well as governmental organizations. Right? You've got to
Mm-hmm.
be able to say, I'm going to do this Now I need you to do your part.
Yeah,
Are we sitting on every county and every municipality has a disaster preparedness and response board?
they do.
And they've planned to use your building whether or not you know it or not.
They have. Right.
Do you go to the meetings? Are you sitting on the
Yeah.
board? If you have a building that they're utilizing, you have a space reserved for you at the table.
Yeah.
Are you going to the table? Are you sitting at the table?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to let them tell
Yeah.
you what they're going to do and oops, they're coming through that door whether you like it or not?
Yeah. Because they have to drill. I mean, it is, again, how they stay um, attuned to um, uh, things that are not consistent in their protocol or their policy, things they've missed, equipment that they don't have, maybe equipment didn't work, maybe something new came out, whatever the case may be, to um, because you don't want the first time you're going through the policy or the procedure to be when an emergency actually is occurring
That's right. That's
and no one knows what to do or where anything is.
that's exactly correct. And there are assumptions that are made. It is
Yeah.
assuming that someone has a commercial kitchen, let's say,
Hmm.
in their house of worship. They've got a commercial
Hmm.
kitchen. Is it functional?
Right.
The congregation is the only one that knows that. Trustee board or whatever it is for your designation. They're the only ones that
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
The civic organization, the disaster board for the municipality does not know, but they know that you built one because you had to get a
Hmm.
permit in order to do
Yes,
it.
yes. You
So
did.
they've gone through all the people with community with commercial kitchens and have put them on a list. But if
Yeah.
you're not sitting at the table, you can't tell them, we need $500 to fix the stove hood. Guess what? They'll give it to you because they need
Mm-hmm.
you in your commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
But if you're not
Yeah.
at the table, that hood is not going to work because you haven't put the money in it to fix it
Yeah.
or ask for help.
which which we get real closed mouth sometimes about asking for assistance with, again, yes, granted, things that this space that people aren't really considering but really touches our lives in every aspect of us navigating our spaces, right?
Closed mouth does not get fed.
It does not. It does not.
Mother,
And it can cause you some harm too if you don't
exactly,
open up your mouth and
exactly.
ask for some things. Wow. And I know that the bigger aspect of, again, the township or the municipality of doing different types of um, emergency preparedness drills, it- that might have decon drills and they put on the spacesuits and all those different types of things. But it would be interesting to invite people to, again, to find out when those drills are happening. Maybe they can, watch the drill as it's unfolding, or like you said, be on the board or understand what all is involved at that level so that they can have an awareness of how their community is preparing for certain things. Where are people gathering? Where are resources going to be? What places can be considered safe spaces if people are not in their own safe space where they can go and find shelter and be protected, and caring for each other differently with regards to that.
Absolutely. One of the other things to consider is not only the checklist, but if if someone is not at the table and they have designated your space as a response location, are you getting the resources you need? And
Mm.
are you trained to utilize the resources that are being given?
Yeah.
It's a one thing to have a CPR mask.
Mhm.
Do something simple. Folks
Mhm.
were for a while they're walking around with CPR masks in their bag, clipped to their hip. But if you don't know how
Mhm.
to use that thing, you're actually going to create harm.
Yeah.
So have we
Yeah.
been trained to utilize what has been given to us? They were giving them out dime a dozen.
Mhm. Mhm.
How
But not trained.
and not trained.
Yeah.
Not trained.
Or even a fire extinguisher. There's different types of fire extinguishers. And do you know, which type is for what type of fire? And how to actually use that device. Whether you have one in your home, you should. If you grill, you definitely should have a fire extinguisher. If you're doing any type of fried turkeys, you need you
Well,
need to have a fire. You need to
you
have
should
a
have a
fire
fire
extinguisher.
extinguisher anyway. Every
Yeah.
every home, apartment, space needs to have at least one, and depending on how large it is, you need two, three, four.
Yeah.
Every X number of square feet should have a fire extinguisher in it. You
Yeah.
got a basement and a first floor. The basement needs one. The first floor needs one.
Absolutely.
So it's those kinds of things. Are you talking about grease fire versus
Hmm.
some other fire, which is like you were saying, two different kinds of fire extinguishers? Do you have
Hmm.
fire detectors, smoke detectors, and carbon monoxide detectors in
Yeah.
your space?
Yeah.
And is the carbon monoxide detector one that actually has a box in it and numbers come up? Or is it
Mm.
just a light? Because the ones with the box in it actually are better than the ones that the less expensive don't give you a numerical number,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
they don't go off as soon.
Hmm.
But it's still better than nothing. And guess
Yeah.
what the fire department will give you? A fire
They'll
department.
give them to you.
They'll give them to you. Red
They'll give them
Cross
to you.
will give them to you during Fire Prevention Month. Are you looking for those opportunities where the
Yeah.
flag goes up and says, "Oh, we'll help you. We're just going to give this to you
Hmm. Hmm.
and help you put it
Or
in."
how many people? Well, and how many people have even thought of, again, in their own homes, of having a fire drill in their own home for their own home?
Like I said, I worked for my father was a
Well,
firefighter, and so
so besides you, that was normal.
that was just
That was
normal.
normal upbringing.
That was
It was
normal
just normal.
upbringing. My father made us do fire drills at church,
Yeah.
one of the mega churches.
Ooh. Well, that's interesting.
He did the fire
But
plan
but but
and made us do drills. It was interesting growing up in my
yeah.
house.
Yeah. But again, I mean, it's those things that we don't think about, right? We don't think about, oh, if this happens at the home, where would we gather, right? Or like it said, what information do you need to pull immediately in case something becomes very consuming and you need access to pertinent documents or information, or you can't get to your phone, but all your other stuff is in paper form in fireproof and waterproof container,
Right,
right?
right.
That you have all of that information. Or if you have to evacuate for some reason and you got to go jump in your car and what are you carrying with you? And the invitation to, you know, have cash on hand
Mm-hmm.
because ATMs may not work.
Mate, that's right.
Um,
That's right.
we've got all kinds of different nefarious things that can happen in our in our world these days where you may not have access to your phone to your funds for ATMs.
Right. Right. If
And
the
so
electricity
thinking,
goes out, the ATMs are funded are made functional by electricity. So
electricity.
electricity goes
Yeah,
out, there is no ATM. There is no
there is no
water.
ATM. No.
There is no gasoline because everything runs on an electrical system.
Yes. Yes.
My father used
And
to
if it,
make us keep our gas tanks, and I still do it to this day. To this day.
oh sure.
My gas tank does not get below a half tank,
Nope.
and most of the time it's over 3/4. They're like,
Hmm.
you back again? I am.
Right. Yeah. Because again, well, and with that, with construction, with traffic, you might something might happen. You're literally sitting and your car is idling. If you're down to a quarter tank and you're just sitting still,
Well, we saw that with Katrina. We see it
yeah,
repeatedly every time Louisiana or Mississippi has a flood.
yeah,
Hurricane come through, folk get stuck on the highway. Why? Because they ran out
oh,
of gasoline.
yeah, you ran out of gas. Yeah, yeah, driving around on fumes, as my dad would say.
Right, exact. See, we grew up in the same era.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Or even having those emergency things in your car, right? Having a blanket, having some tools, having some things that, again, if something were to happen and you're in inclement weather, would you have water? Would you have something to snack on? Would you have something to protect yourself with?
Do you have potable water?
Do you
Because
have
how
potable
long is that
water?
bottle of water going to last?
Yeah.
And did you open it and then close it back and that sat in your car for 3 days?
Yeah.
Is that technically potable anymore? I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah. That's the question mark.
That's a question mark. We don't know. But do you
Yeah.
have, you've got one bottle of water and you got four people in the car because the neighbors came over and jumped in your car?
Yeah.
Do we, do, are we thinking about those things? How many people we're trying to service in the
Hmm.
middle of an emergency or pre-emergency? Because an evacuation is not necessarily there's going to be destruction. It could be we
Yeah.
need you to move so that we can get in and stop the destruction, or we
Hmm.
need you to move because we don't know what's going to happen, or as in the case of Altadena, Pasadena in California, we need you to go
Hmm.
now because
Yeah.
it's coming and it's going to come through.
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
prepared with everybody thinks of masks these days as something that you need because of COVID and flu? You got enough smoke, you need an N95 or at least a KN95.
The KN95. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This has been a rich conversation, and I am excited about our community listening to these nuggets of wisdom that you have from, again, your perspective, your expertise of having done work with FEMA and been inside of the emergency preparedness sector, and your medical background as well, of how that comes in concert with this topic of emergency preparedness and thinking outside of, like you said, the large disasters, but again, the different things that can happen to our everyday lives, in the spaces where we call home, or we are with loved ones, or we are with community, or we are gathering with people that we are close to, and that we care about. And so, Dr. Barnett, thank you for lending your voice to the Tinderbox podcast and giving us, again, these nuggets of wisdom and things to consider, and some homework assignments to start looking at the free stuff that we can get from our communities
That's right.
and the engagement that we can have with regards to this topic, but also looking online and maybe starting with our homes, of getting that checklist and starting putting some of that stuff together from that preparedness checklist for our homes and our loved ones. Is there anything that you want to offer to our audience as closing remarks?
Stay safe.
I love it. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Until the next time, again, stay kindled, continue to be a spark of communication so that we can ignite change and help the Tinderbacks podcast spread this knowledge to the audience so that we can, as Dr. Barnett just said, stay safe.
Amen.
Blessings.
Blessings.